is very similar to the one we just did, but instead of being like 2x squared plus 3x minus 4, it's going to be in this pattern. You're going to have a coefficient, you're going to have x squared, then you're going to have a coefficient, but you're going to have x and y, and then our third one will have a coefficient and be y squared. So instead of x squared, x no x, we now have a y included in there, okay? And your homework is already in the correct form, so it's already in x squared. I mean, technically it's still there, right? X squared, x, no x. But in this case, we're adding a y and a y squared. So it's already in the right format for this lesson, and we're going to use the same box and sort of do it very, very similar to what we just did. The steps are exactly the same. You're going to just have a with your x squared, b with your xy, and c with your y squared. So that's going to change slightly. And then when you plug in your factors of AC, instead of putting just an x with them, you're going to put an xy with them. So let's do a couple. The first thing we're going to do is see if there's a greatest common factor. So let's split this up for those of you who need to see it. 18 is 2 and 9. So we can see they have a 3 in common. So we're going to pull that 3 out. What's left is 2x squared minus xy minus 6y squared. All right, I'm going to circle that 3 so I don't lose it, and here's my a, b, and c. So a times c is 2 times negative 6, greatest common factor. Now we're going to list our factors of negative 12. Well, we could have 1 and, oh goodness, that's not 1. We can have 1 and negative 12, negative 1, positive 12. We could have negative 2 and 6, or 2 and negative 6. We could have negative 3 and 4, or 3 and negative 4. So which one of these sets, when multiplied together, is going to give us negative, understood, 1? Nope, 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 nope. Negative 1 means the 4 has to be bigger. I mean negative. All right, first term is 2x squared. Last term is negative 6y squared. And then my factors are going to be 3. In this case, it's xy, negative 4xy. And then we're going to factor up, which is going to be 2. Nope, nope, nope. There's not a 2 there. 3y. Factor up, and that's going to be 2x. Why did I put a, that's not supposed to be there. That should be xy. So 2x when I factor up. Then I'm going to see what they have in common going out. And this is going to be x squared. Nope, just x. And this is going to be negative, because of that sign, 2y. So then I'm going to put it in the right form. Don't forget the 3 we had up top. 2x plus 3y. X minus 2y. All right, so we've done the exact same thing. The only difference is we have an x and a y in those boxes. So let's do another one. All right, so if I were to look at this and see if there's if there's a greatest common factor, I can already tell you 2, 3, and 9 have nothing in common. If I look at the letters, nothing matches in all 3, so there's no greatest common factor. So now I'm going to assign my A, B, and C. I'm going to multiply A times C, which is 2 times negative 9. Make sure you keep that negative with this, which is negative 18. Oh gosh, you can't even read that. Negative 18. So there's my multiplication of A and C. Now factors of 18, or negative 18, I could do 1 and negative 18. I could do negative 1 and 18. Now some of you may not need to list this. You may just see that I need a 3 and know which set it is, but for those who need to see it all, we're going to keep writing them all out. 2 times -9, or -2 times 9. 3 times -6, -3 times 6. So now, which set of this, which one of these sets when added together is going to give me +3? And I'm going to just come down here, and it's this one. -3 and 6, when multiplied together, give me -18. When added together, give me +3. So I've done this one, I've done this one. Now I'm going to fill in my box. First term, last term. Then my factor, but in this case, I'm going to have x and y together. Factor, x and y together. Now pulling up, what do they have in common? And some of you may need to write it out like this, so you can, oh, that's not even an x, that's a y, see it. Still doesn't look like a y, but you know. All right, so if I factor up, these guys have a 2 and an x in common. If I factor this up, I'm going to pull the negative up, 3. And then if I factor out to the sides, I'm going to have an x in common. And I'm going to have a 3y in common. Right? Oh, you know what? There's a y here. Sorry. Okay, so if I pull up, there's 2 x's, 3y. Let me just double check and make sure that's right, because I feel like that's not right. But, okay, so then I'm going to put them in the correct form. So I'm going to go sideways. And I'm going to go down my side. Now, if you had put, well, I'm not even going to say that, it's going to confuse you more. If you have these two sets just in different orders, like if you have this written first and this written second, it's fine. It doesn't matter the order. Okay? All right. So there is that one. All right. So if you did your greatest common factor, you should have pulled a 3 out. And you would have ended up right here, -8y squared. If you didn't see that, it was 3xx, 2, 3xy, 2, 2. Why did I say 2, 3 and write 2, 2? 2, 2, 3, y. So they have this 3 in common. Now I'm going to assign a, b, and c. A times c is going to be 1 times -8, which is -8. Factors of that are -1 times 8, 1 times -8, -2 times 4, 2 times -4. And again, if you knew looking at this which one it exactly was without having to do all of that, that's fine. I'm just writing it down for those who need to see it in a different way. So greatest common factor, assign ABC, multiply AC, list factors. So which one of these sets when added together is going to give me my B term? And it's going to be 4 minus 2. Now let's fill in our box. First term, last term, and then -2xy, 4xy. Now let's factor up, and we're going to pull out the negative because it's first. 2y. Factor up, they have an x in common. Okay, now let's factor out. Let's factor out, and we're going to have an x in common. Factor out, and we're going to have a 4y, and the reason it's positive is because this first one is a positive. And if you needed to spread all that out to be able to see it, that's fine. Now don't forget this 3 we have written there. And then my top, and then my side. So the more we do this, hopefully the quicker you're getting at it. And hopefully it's getting a little easier. All right, here's another one for you to try. So work it and then come back and let's see if you got it right. All right, so our common term here is going to be 2x. But I feel like I need to write this one out because it's big. 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. Then 32 is going to be, let's see, 2, and then that'll give you 16, that'll give you 8, and then x squared, y. 30 is going to be 2 times 15, 15 is 3 times 5, x, y, y. So I'm going to have a 2 in common and an x in common. So I'm going to pull a 2x out, and then my leftovers are going to go back in here. So 4x squared plus 16xy plus 15y squared. I'm almost out of space. All right. 4x squared plus 16xy plus 15y squared. Let's assign our A, B, C. I'm going to come over here and work because it's a little bit easier. It'll give me a little more space. 4 times 15 is 60. So what can I get factors of 60? And some of us can already look at this 60 and 16. Well, that's going to be 10 and 6. And if you needed to list all of those out, go for it. And the reason I'm going quick is because you've already done this one on your own. First, last, factor, factor. Now I'm going to pull out what I have in common up, and that's going to be a 5y. Pull coming up, and that's going to be a 2x. And again, you can spread all that out if you needed to. Now let's factor coming out this way. That's going to be a 2x. Factor this way is going to be a 3y. So we have this first, then we have our top, then we have our side, and that big old lovely thing is your answer. Okay? So for homework, I want you to do activity 2 and 3. It's a total of 9 problems from lesson 73. Activity 2 and 3 from lesson 73. Take good notes because you're going to have a little bit of a review sheet to do in class time on Tuesday.